I guess we're going to try something a little bit different today. I did a video recently about these three pieces of gear right here, the HX Stomp, the blackbox, and the Digitakt II. I've been loving this trio, and I just want to make something from scratch. We're not going to review any of these pieces of gear in particular. We're just going to make something. I don't have much here. I have a basic. I have some samples loaded on the Digitakt, and I have a blank project on the blackbox. And I've just got some basic guitar tones here, and I want to make something kind of like a neo soul. I don't really know. I have a chord progression in mind, and I was messing around with some stuff yesterday, but let's just jump in. We're going to try and make something from scratch. Also got the guitar cam here today, so hopefully you can see what I'm doing with the guitar. And yeah, let's make something. I've set my BPM for this to 90, the greatest BPM of all time, obviously. And let's first turn on the metronome, and I know that I'm going to want to swing this. So let's just start at 60%, and we'll come back to that if we need to. And let's make some stuff. So let's start with a kick drum. Here's my kick. We're going to go velocity mode for this. Oh, and by the way, the black box is the master clock for this setup, and it's sending transport to the Digitakt. I should mention this. I did a whole video on it, but in case you didn't see it or don't want to watch it, guitar going into the HX Stomp, coming out of the HX Stomp into the black box, which is kind of on looping duty, and then audio coming out of the black box into the Digitakt, and then everything from the Digitakt going a stereo out into my computer. And then black box is also sending MIDI to the Digitakt, like I said, clock and transport. So that being said, let's do something. So let's press play. Yeah, that's cool. All right, so let's just record this quantized. All right, that's cool. And then next thing we're gonna do, let's turn off the metronome and let's get a snare going. All right, I have a snare and a clap, so let's just do something really basic with these. I'm gonna adjust all these later in terms of the micro timing and stuff. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna turn this track down a little. Like I said, we're gonna come back to those. For now, I'm just getting the basics down, and then we'll spice it up. So there's a hi-hat. Let's do some basics there. Yeah, we're just gonna do some basics there. Oops. Okay. All right, cool. Okay, so very basic beat there, but let's spice it up a little bit. I get really obsessive about micro timing, especially in this style of music, and so let me obsess over that on camera. So let's I think our swing is okay actually, so let's leave it there at 60%. I'm gonna start with this kick. Okay, first of all, this last kick. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, okay. I want this to have a really laid back kind of, sloppy feel. Not sloppy. I want it to just have a vibe. So I move this kick back a little bit. Yeah. And then I might come back to that. But let's focus on the hi-hats now. There might be a better way to adjust the micro timing on all of these hi-hats all at once. I'm new to the Digitakt, so I'm still like fumbling around a little bit. That being said, I do like to make all of the micro timing adjustments individually because it adds to the randomness of it. So let's just move these all back a little. Let's move them back a little more. Yeah, there's one of those. Ooh. Yeah. Okay, that's more like it. Like I said, I get really obsessive. I could spend a long time on each of these individually with the micro timings, but let's not worry about that right now. And let's move this off. Yeah, that's cool. Okay. All right, and then let's move one more kick off here. This one. Yeah, that's cool. All right, let's move on. So let's mess with the sounds individually. I'm gonna just change. I'm gonna make everything just attack decay because it's a little easier to get my head around right now. And I'm gonna make this clap shorter. Yeah, that's cool. And then I think the kick is okay. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, all right, I kind of like that roominess, so we're just gonna keep it there. Let's pan this a little bit. Let's take our hats. Where's pan? Over here. And you know what? I like panning hats to the left because I think of drums as from the perspective of behind the kit. I know there's a fierce debate about that, but I don't know. I like it this way, so we're going that. Okay, let's add... are we happy with... Oh, you know what? Let's mix this a little bit. So let me just make sure... Yeah, so right now I want to set up my compressor now because this is going to kind of alter the way that all the levels are. And I definitely want to sidechain the kick to the compressor here. This is gonna make it all come together later. So the compressor source, let's make this track 1. Let's turn this up to 30 on the filter, and then I like having a little bit more attack. That's fine. Let's put the ratio to 6. Let's turn the mix up to like, I don't know, 70. I like a lot of compression on the Digitakt. I really like the Elektron compressor. I don't know, it's nice. And then the other thing we do is we need to go in here to compressor routing. So in order for it to really actually be a true like sidechain setup, we have to take the kick out of the compressor routing, and then I want to turn my input left and right. I want to send my input left and right into the compressor. You won't hear anything happening there now, but later on that's going to make a difference. So, okay, it's sidechain. Let's hear that. Ooh. Okay, so now you can hear our levels are different. Our kick is pretty quiet. So we're gonna need to bump this a little. And then our hats are coming in kind of hot. Our snare is pretty loud, but I kind of like a loud snare. That's cool. Let's bump that back up a little. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, yeah, I like that. That's cool. Anything else we need to do? Yeah, actually, let's this is a little repetitive, so let's double this up. So let's go in here to setup. How do I do this? Yeah, 32 steps, and then now it should be twice as long. Yep. And then let's see. I want to add a little. Oh yeah, I forgot I had that open hat. So I want to add a fill here. So let's go to page 2. Yeah, okay. I'll turn that down. And, oh, you know what? I forgot. I wanted to try altering the pitch on the hi-hats. So let's do that real quick. Yeah, that's super cool. Okay. Okay. Same thing for the open hi-hat. Oh, maybe not as low, but that's cool. Let's also pan it so it matches. Something like that. It's loud. Turn it down. And then we're going to take our regular hi-hat out of there, and we're going to put a snare here. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Okay. And then the other thing we're going to do is I just want that decay to come down a little bit. Yes, that's cool. All right, so I think that's fine for our drums right now. I could spend a lot longer on that, but we're going for we're just trying to catch a vibe today. We're not trying to make it perfect. So let's put a pin in that. Drums are fine, and let's move into the black box. I'm gonna grab my guitar and start playing. All right. Okay, so I've got my guitar. We don't hear anything right now. I am monitoring in the black box, but I need to go to the mixer in the Digitakt, and I need to turn my input level up so I can hear my guitar running into the Digitakt. And then I'm also set up to send my input signal to the compressor, so it's gonna get that nice squash with everything else, and it will also be sidechained by the kick, which is super cool. Really adds that glue. And ooh, that's pretty compressed. All right, I'll bump it down a little, just a little bit though. Okay, I feel like I've been overusing minor 6 chords for the last 10 years, but I'm kind of in a hurry today, and it just sounds really nice with this particular configuration. So E minor 6 it is. We're gonna just that's cool. Let's go to the all right, let's do that. Let's do it. E minor 6 to that A something. I think 2 bars is fine, like this. Okay. Yeah, all right, we're good. So all we do is press record. Yep. Look at that. Look at how easy that is on the black box. I love that. Bring the level down a little bit. Okay. Now let's get some bass going here. So we're gonna get ready to record again. I'm gonna go to a bass patch thing I have set up on my HX Stomp. And I'm gonna keep the bass really simple. No, that's not simple enough. Just match the kick. Yeah. That's fine. That's fine. We're sticking with that. Here we go. Cool. Okay, now one thing here, since the bass is hitting on the kick, and the kick is side chaining super hard, I need to turn this up a little bit. This is interesting because the bass does a little fill at the end, and the kick does not hit. So you lose that side chain squash, and then all of a sudden the bass is really loud for that fill. That's okay. We're just vibing. All right. So, okay, we have a rhythm part, we have a bass part. And let's figure out some kind of lead. Oh, yeah, so the lead, the melody is what I was messing around with yesterday. Let's see here, where was I? Yes, that's okay. It was like, that's not it. Yes. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Let's record that. Yes. Okay. I'm gonna pan that left pretty hard here. And then I want something to match it. It's kind of cool. It's kind of weird. I don't really know what I'm doing here. Okay. Well. Alright, what about that? That's just an octave. And we'll pan it so that they have some separation. So let's record that. That's cool. Okay. Yeah. That is cool. That's vibey. Bring the bass in. I actually kind of like it without that rhythm part, but it'll be nice to bring it in and out. And then that lead part can come out if I want a solo. Cool. Yeah, I like this. 2, 3, bring those in. Yeah. You can even kind of mess with performance a little bit. You can bring things out, back in. That's cool. And the cool thing is I can take these individual parts out of the black box via the SD card and throw it into my computer and kind of keep going with this song, make it into a full-fledged, song. This is super fun. It's super fast, and you can even do some cool little performance tricks with it. This is just a quick one. There's a little beat. Let me know in the comments if you guys have any tricks for me on the Digitakt about how to make this process faster, smoother, whatever. Yeah, hopefully I can do more of these kind of start to finish. Well, not finish. Hopefully I can do more of these like starting a beat on this setup in real time type videos. And as always, thanks for watching. I will see you on the next one.